Can't love your kids all in the same way anyways. But I'm just raising issues here. So you're saying there's a lot, it's just Pluto aspect, but there's a lot to think. You got to stop. As soon as you see it, you stop for a few minutes. How could that be? You got to reflect. What could happen? You know, if it was your daughter or your son, you're going to be concerned about that. How do you challenge this? Well, when you're trying to challenge it, it's happening in you too. You know, like that fear was in you. So like she's going to have to go out, or he's going to have to go up and find what they want. Do I control it? If I control it, I'm the fearful person. If they control it, if they're a puzzle. And often it takes a lot of alertness, therapy, understanding things to try and reach it, to try and find it. But you can't always impose it on someone. Someone must have to find it themselves. You know, so it might be easy to fall. It might not be easy to fall in love or surrender, but it certainly would be easy to fall out and get afraid of love, even when it's right in your face. These people can be afraid of love. When it comes, they can be afraid of it so much it can fall away from them. Any of the outer planets can do that. So choices, style, taste, everything's going to have a sharper, harsher element to it. But you know, in some cultures, some areas, some with Pluto Venus that covers their body in tattoos, there's a harsher element, but there's a whole other art form that's idealized in a countercultural way. So they're going to have this contrariness. And they might find their value in that. They're not going to be, they'll either be strong feminists, or contrariness is not going to, yeah, it can flip around. So you're holding on to the inner planets and working with them. The other planets are throwing these tests. We dealt with this when we went through Venus, when we looked at the Uranus, Neptune, Pluto aspects. So we're just looking strictly from these other planets. It seems a little more extreme because we're looking at the invisible and its influence in. And we're separating 3 different degrees, 3 different layers of consciousness that are invisible. And trying to look at it with a real sense of what's good about it, what's bad about it. The good is to be able to control no matter what. A lot of millionaires or billionaires that had to make money no matter what, they would have Venus Pluto aspects. They controlled it to get what they wanted. They had to do it. But there's a harshness there. You can have everything, you can't bring it with you when you die. Doesn't mean anyone's going to love you or like you, or you're going to be, you can buy everything you have, but you didn't surrender. So like, who's to say what's the best way? To me, I think it's sad if anyone loses their heart and doesn't open up to the spirit and get heartfelt thinking, heart-guided choices. When you come out of a difficult situation, your heart loved, you don't know what heartfelt choices are. They certainly weren't the choices that were around you when you were born. So you're going to try and get away from that one way or another, or circumstances will come that will, and then you have to try and find it in yourself. Wow, then the therapy comes. Can you set up something different, or do you just repeat the pattern? Well, it takes some work. Usually something not practical, something where you lose control. Watercolors, they run into each other. They can't be controlled. It's a great Pluto Venus therapy. Singing, belly dancing, something really like just these things. You're so controlled, you're so afraid of letting go into those things. So there's many ways you can find a therapy to loosen this up a little bit. Okay. Okay, Pluto to the sun. Your sun is your confidence, your radiance, your playfulness. Ta-da! I'm confident. I got my home. I bring out of my past, my memories. I have my thinking. I can think for myself. I know how to make fun of things. I'm enjoying myself. I think I'm beautiful. And your sun's coming up with the confidence or lack of confidence, depending on what's going on. You can still have your confidence, but all these other things become buried. The mind or your emotions have to be kept aside, or it might affect your confidence. But if Pluto hits your confidence isn't easily there. It's either not there and you're overconfident, you're fighting to survive, or as you're over-controlling to maintain it, and you're still fighting to survive and maintain your confidence no matter what. But it's a little harsh. It's a little control. Now, Someone with a Pluto to the sun could be driven. I have to fix something's wrong. I have to go fight a goal. I have to fight a purpose. I have to be strong. I have to take on a challenge. In fact, any of the other planets can pull you to a global challenge or a vast thing you want to challenge, but how many people can afford to do that? You know, like if you haven't taken care of yourself, you can be more of a problem than a help. So Pluto to the sun, you're going to see a kid could have temper tantrums, a fear of putting energy out, of just waiting and being confident, or being confident and afraid of not letting other people tell her what to do or whatever. There's a harsh confrontation. There's a, you know, these are people who need power but are afraid of it. It's on their sun. It's affecting their confidence. Now, knowing there's a tendency to over control or for the ego to crystallize and be really strong. Years of that can build up to a really crystallized, isolated life. And the person's afraid of playing. They need to learn to play. So sometimes with the sun, sometimes with Mars, with Pluto, if it's a kid or something, I would usually suggest you make sure they're dancing. You make sure they're doing a martial art, or you make sure they have physical activities where they're having to fight and be strong to win or to lose, where there's challenges, because the challenges are better than the fear of the challenges. Everybody has challenges. Even somebody that has no legs still has the challenges to get around and do things. They have piles of, so like we all have sun to blue. We all have fears around our heart and our confidence. Pluto comes in and we lose some innocence around our confidence. I didn't win that. I thought I was going to get it. I didn't get it, or I got it, and nobody likes me, or just there was a battle or whatever. There's going to be some harshness or some loss of innocence coming in on the goals, on the purpose. So someone will be driven. I have to fix something. I have to fight this injustice, or I could never do that. It's always been blocked. Everyone else is in control. So shades of this can be seen in the Pluto to Moon, Pluto to Mercury, Pluto to Venus, and the Sun. It really is about the confidence. And there was fearful things and harsh things in that person's life, and they're going to be controlled and confrontational and harsh. They're going to have difficulty letting go of control, or they may put themselves in situations where other people have control and they're afraid of taking control. But there's a tendency to see an enemy, a force, a harshness out there that's affecting me and my confidence, a block, abusive brother, a stepmother, just a violent dad or mom. That was so real. How can I do that when I get out? I want to do anything, but you're afraid of your own strength, or you're too strong and afraid of surrendering, or you're surrendering, or you're not surrendering, but you're afraid of taking control and you let other people take control. So there's a need for tough love and for driving yourself to do things. You need mentors. It's not mentors, you need challenges. You know, you don't want to go to camp, you have to go to camp. You know, you still have to deal with things. It takes time to know exactly where it comes from when someone has it. You just see it as a normal point of their quality. They just have this harshness or this reserve there. It's going to take away the normal radiance or projection of the sun. So if it's a rising sun, the person will control it. They won't project so much unless they've got it all under control. If it's setting, they won't react. They won't show their reactions. Other people are doing things. They'll just hold it in. They won't show their reactions. So it's the Pluto's doing what it's doing where it is, but making the aspect from that house, from that sign, from that Pluto, there's this fear that's coming from Pluto, that's coming from those affairs of those houses too. It comes in and brings it with it onto the aspect, onto the sun. It seems like I'm saying the same thing to each one, but there's a slight difference in each of these. And it's just the difference of each planet in itself. You still have to be your sun, even if you got Pluto. So what? I got that, so I got to deal with this. If you were a teacher at school and had the horoscopes of everybody in your class, you would start to see who what students might be getting abused or might not, but you wouldn't be allowed to go confront the parents. You have to deal with it. Fortunately, there's all kinds of people, good and bad, in the world, and if the Sun Pluto is lucky, they'll find some person that knows how to get them out of that to set up a new world, to get them strong in spite of, or to soften them in spite. See, the difficulty with the Pluto aspects is when something happens, you're going along, it's normal for you all your life. But when something threatening happens or something challenging happens, the Pluto will kick in. There'll be instant fear first. It'll kick in like a first reaction. So you may not see it all. That person's so quiet, never see it like that. But then the minute something goes wrong, you could run into the ferociousness of Pluto, or the harshness, the coldness of it, the brutal truth. If someone asks you if you love them and you're married, do you love me? And you don't really. Do you say, no, I don't? Are you honest? And then deal with it? Yeah, not small. These are little seeds that have huge repercussions. So someone that's playing on football, or they're really playing in a sport or in the military, doing something really aggressive and they have to hold it together, there's a Pluto. There's a Pluto sun. Sun's almost like Mars, because it's how we put out energy, but it's your confidence more. Your pride, your self-esteem could easily be threatened, or could be ferociously maintained. I'm the best. Okay. Now, just remember, when you have planets in your natal chart that pile up, say you have your Venus and your Mercury conjunct, squaring your moon, and Pluto hits this, it's going to hit all of them. Wow, it's going to hit them all. They're all going to be affected, and each one's going to dump it down, like Pluto with the Venus. Venus will seduce the Mercury. Mercury will distort the memories. Will hit them. It'll go down to the moon, so it'll go down in order like that. All right, I don't have much more. You say more of the same. I'm just going to go on for now. Mars is how you put out energy. It's your use of force. What's Pluto going to do to your use of force? It's going to challenge it. It's going to make it severe or forced force. It's going to make it extreme, not simple. Things are with you or against you. It's how you put your energy out. So you go try and I want to do this. You go do something. She said, I'm really trying to do something. My father would knock me down or not let me do things or hit me and, well, all kinds of things. But that was Pluto. I have Pluto square Mars. So, but Pluto will, if I used to, just for no reason, if I was in the way or that, I was 4 or 5 years old, he used to take his knuckle and knock me on the head and almost knock me out. He did that for maybe a year or so. And then one day I had a major concussion and I was brought into the hospital on the way to school. And I was brought into the hospital and they realized it was coming from that. Well, they didn't realize that I got better, but my father must have realized and stopped hitting me like that. So, but I always grew up with a fear. Pluto, there's forced, harsh things. And it can be abusive things. There's power things. Mars, Pluto. The